Hi, my name is Jamie Perkunis, and I was asked a question about if you strengthen your hip flexors, will that help loosen your hamstrings? So I'm just going to give you a little video rendition of what I had written in my newsletter. So what I was talking about is the hip flexors are on the front of the body, and your hamstrings are on the back of your body. So I'll show you in standing. So when we're standing, a lot of times when we do a forward fold, we keep our legs straight and bow forward at our hips. And as a result, what tends to happen is we tend to round in our low back in addition to stretching our hamstrings. So what I was proposing is that when we come into our hamstring stretches, to keep our pelvis steady. So the hamstrings attach from the ischial tuberosities, which is our sit bones, on the bottom of our butt, basically, and they extend all the way down to the back of the knees, just crossing over the knee joint on the right and left side, so medial and lateral side. When the hamstring is engaged, the hamstring will cause hip extension and knee flexion. So when we're in standing pose, what that means is that when we bend our knees, we're actually not stretching the hamstrings, because the hamstrings bend when we're contracting them. So instead, what we can help with is we can keep the knees bent, separate the feet, and stick the bottom back behind us. So the insertion, or the origin I should say, of the hamstrings moves further away from the insertion point, so that causes a stretch. If we can keep this tilting forward, anterior tilt of the pelvis, then start to straighten the legs, we can really start to isolate the hamstrings without overstretching the low back. So indeed, we are using our hip flexors to stretch our hamstrings and help them open. So again, if you straighten your legs around your back, you are stretching your hamstrings, but you're also overstretching the low back. So instead, bend the knees, tilt your pelvis forward as you bring your bottom back behind you, and then start to straighten legs with your chest and pelvis moving forward. This will help you isolate your hamstrings a little bit more and use the strength of your hip flexors to help open up your hamstrings.